super fun, and all about artisan cheese and more to melt your peaceful heart and toast your peaceful life. Coming to you from the Appalachian Mountains of southwestern Virginia, this is the Peaceful Heart FarmCast.
Hey, this is Scott Hall from Peaceful Heart Farm, and you are listening to the Peaceful Heart FarmCast.
Hello, everybody. Melanie Hall here. I hope you are doing well. The conversation today and every day revolves around the value of tradition, traditional life, traditional cooking, and of course, traditional artisan cheese and raw milk. Topics discussed here are designed to create new perspectives and possibilities for how you might add the taste of tradition to your life. I want to take a minute and say welcome to all the new listeners. Welcome back to my veteran homestead-loving regulars who stop by the FarmCast every week. I appreciate you all so much. And, as always, I am so excited to share with you what's going on at the farm this week. And I'm also going to talk about the traditional family cow. And our recipe for today is crab and artichoke dip. And that is keto-friendly as long as you don't stick those crackers in there. All right, let me talk about what's going on here at the homestead. So the cows are doing great. Every day, twice a day, I walk out there and I find them grazing peacefully on the grass. And then I just circle around behind them and I start calling out, let's go, let's go. And they all start toward the milking shed. They just kind of turn around and start walking. They've done it so many times. And they walk pretty slow. And so sometimes inside I'm all raring to go and I want to push them a little faster, as if the milking machine would go any faster. And they never really cooperate. They move pretty much at their own pace, no matter how anxious I might be. And Scott has Butter already up in the shed, and she's hooked up to the portable milker. And like I said, it only goes so fast. So these guys are just moseying along at a slow pace on their way to the lounging area. And that's where they will hang out until Scott gets done milking Butter. He leads her up. She goes up first. He actually hooks a lead rope to her and just leads her up. So there's really no need to hurry. So, you know what? I'll take a lesson from them and endeavor to maintain my inner peace. It's a nice daily ritual. Cows are peaceful. Let's see. Lambert doesn't come running anymore. We weaned him off the bottle probably only about a week ago, and I still feel like I'm missing something when I go out to the field. Shouldn't I be doing something else before bringing in the cows? Well, it'll pass. And every once in a while, he still comes running up looking for a bottle. And then I can give him a little petting. But mostly he just stays out there. He's eating grass all the time. Now, the donkeys sure love their petting. All four of them got their hooves trimmed a few days ago. Daisy and Sweet Pea, they just stand there placidly for the most part. Well, they do shimmy a little bit every now and then. But Johnny and Coco, they still dance around a lot. And they'll try to lay over all their weight on Scott while he's holding up one of their hooves. Or they're jerking that hoof around while he's trying to hold on to it. Coco was really active, and she had a little mishap when she did that, where she was kind of kicking her leg around. And the grinding tool that Scott uses to file their hooves, it nicked her. And so we put some pine tar on it to keep the flies out. It wasn't, just a little small pea-sized diameter place in two places on her little ankle. But anyway, the pine tar keeps the flies out, and it'll probably heal up in a few days. So we had one little boy goat kid, and so we weaned him from his mom a couple days ago. And now he's merged in with the other boy goats. We have 6 in there now and 4 sheep. That's 1 ram and 3 lambs that will go to the processor soon. Let us know if you're interested. I know I always talk about Wytheville, but if you're in the Winston-Salem or Greensboro, North Carolina area, we can help you there too. It's about 45 minutes from here to the north side of Winston-Salem. So pass it along to anybody who you know might be interested. And the garden still getting neglected. I still haven't gotten the onions out of the garden. Perhaps this week I can get to that. The tomatoes are looking really good, as are the dried beans, the black, the red, the white beans, and then the Mississippi silver cowpeas. Oh, yum, yum. They are doing fantastic. I'll be picking those really soon. I kind of wonder how the blueberries are doing. The birds are probably having a field day out there. It's been more than 4 or 5 days, I think, since I picked them last. I canned 8 24-ounce jars of blueberry pie filling. And I froze 2 quarts of fresh blueberries, and that'll go into Scott's pancakes and yogurt. More yum yum. So those are the things that are going on around here. You're probably busy as well, I'm sure, in your daily life. And let's get on to the topic of the day. The traditional family cow and what's happening with that. In a previous podcast, I talked about the tradition of dairying, and I gave a brief history, and I finished up with the growth of the large dairies. That was like in the 20th century, just about all of the 20th century. They kept consolidating, and they still are. And I want to follow up on that and talk more specifically about small dairy farms and the family cow. What was happening to the family cow while commercial dairying was being conformed to that 20th century model of food as a commodity. It wasn't a valuable product that was taken care of with your hands. It became a commodity. So you're just looking for supply and demand there, and the market kind of drives the price. So the family cow, that along with the small farms, it was basically priced out of existence. If you talk to old timers, you hear the statement, "It doesn't pay to keep a cow." And that's American food is cheap. Well, it appears to be cheap. What happened was, starting in the early 20th century, the last century, an elaborate system of subsidies kept food prices artificially low. So that's part of a cheap food policy. Cheap food that brands food as a commodity, and the cheaper, the better. Again, quality is an afterthought, if it comes up at all. And you see what it's doing to the health of our country. Just like, stuff whatever into your mouth. It doesn't have to be nutritious. It doesn't have to be well cared for. And that's just not true. It is not true that we can exist for a long period of time in that way without having detrimental health effects. And the policy has been continued by every administration. Perhaps you're familiar with farm subsidies. Those are payments to farmers, and it's designed to assist them in producing their products at predictable levels. And there are, among the less frequently recognized effects of subsidies, is that by covering part of a farmer's cost, he or she is then able to accept a lower price for the crops or milk. So you pay less for your food, but you're paying for those subsidies. Anyway, pointed out even less frequently is the government assistance that goes to processors. So everything from special university research projects to tax-deferred production plants that may be paid for wholly or in part by your tax dollars. And then you're trucking this food all over the country rather than having local dairies. This stuff, I think that the milk that comes out of the standard Virginia dairies actually goes to South Carolina. That's 2 states away. And of course, we're shipping in our lettuce and these other vegetables from California all the time. And so you've got the highway costs, and those are shared by all taxpayers, but it's really benefiting the truckers, right? They're the ones using those highways the most. And the food industry, it affects them, or it helps them disproportionately. They're getting the benefit of those tax dollars, making their bottom line look a lot better. So sometimes we call that corporate welfare. So these are some of the hidden costs of cheap food. So in reality, you're paying more for your food from the grocery store than you may have realized. It's just harder to see it because it's automatically deducted from your paycheck. It's in the taxes that you pay. So it's you and I, the taxpayers, that are paying the money in the form of taxes that then goes to the farmer, the processor, and the transportation industry, all via subsidies. So with food costs comparatively low, even the formidable efficiency of the cow is hard put to offer an obvious financial fiscal advantage. Milk prices are low because dairy farmers, even taking the rapidly diminishing subsidies into account, they're paid at a rate that barely covers costs, and they cannot market their milk freely. They are regulated. They must sell to consortiums under fixed contracts that the government regulates. And the processors have certainly made milk conveniently available to our supermarkets. If a plot had been hatched to eliminate small farmers, place milk production and distribution into the hands of a few, and permit almost everybody to forget what milk was meant to taste like, a better plan could not have been devised. Consider also that in terms of buying power, American wages were high during the first 60 years of the 20th century, and our dollars still buy more food than in any other westernized country. So, keeping a cow does indeed cost more than buying milk at the store. So most people considering getting a family cow are no longer motivated by the old-timer view that the object of a cow is to pay. Reasonable as this may be, it's not about it paying for itself. It's quality dairy products and the desire for a more centered way of life, peaceful way of life. That's what people now want. The cost is secondary. So we're not marketing milk, or any of our products, as commodities. These are healthy, quality products, and they provide us a centered way of life. And you're invited to come out. Just let us know when you'd like to come out. And let's talk a little bit about what happens with commercial milk. Pasteurization. Pasteurization has its detractors, and I am among them, as you would know, but there's really no doubt that milk distribution as we know it today, it would be otherwise impossible without the pasteurization. The creation of this current distribution network really ensured the destruction of the small local dairy farm. So pasteurization destroys all bacteria, including benign strains, and it destroys enzymes. The enzyme needed to actually digest the milk, besides physically altering the milk protein. In addition, by the 1950s, virtually all milk was also homogenized. So pasteurized and homogenized appear on every container of milk. And they're not really related at all. They came about for different reasons. Homogenized means that the milk it's subjected to pressure and agitation, which knocks apart the butterfat globule and stops it from doing what cream would naturally do. It would rise to the surface. So those that are part of my herd share get milk that is non-homogenized, and so the cream rises to the surface. And you can shake that back up and have whole milk, or you can skim it off and make butter, or just have cream, or You can make sour cream even. Anyway, cream naturally rises to the surface. So, they came up with this homogenization. So it takes the butterfat globule and they pressurize it, agitate it, and it breaks up that butterfat globule and distributes it through the milk, so it doesn't rise to the surface. And so it was presented to you, the consumer, as a great advancement. But first and foremost, it served the distributor. It served the distributor. Back in those days, everybody wanted cream. But after it was pasteurized, the heat made the cream lumpy, and it was kind of unimpressive then. So homogenization offered the advantage of distributing the cream evenly throughout the milk, so it looks better. And so there was the advantage for the distributors. It made the the cream more appealing. Now, back to the pasteurization, that made it possible to sell milk like 2 or even 3 weeks after it left the farm. But here's what happened with that. I hope you're not trying to eat right now. So there emerged a problem with a sort of sludge settling to the bottom of the bottle. And the sludge largely consisted of dead bacteria and the macrophages that consumed the bacteria. And the longer that the bottled milk sat, the more evident the sludge. And so with homogenization, the sludge becomes invisible along with the cream. Don't let me put you off store-bought milk altogether. Worst things are in ketchup and peanut butter. So this might seem reason enough to get a cow herd share with us, but wait, there's more. Now we have BGH, that's a bovine growth hormone, to consider. And consumers, perhaps even you, have expressed virtually unanimous objection to the fact that milk may now legally contain bovine growth hormone, and it's passed into the milk as a result of the cow's daily injection. And right now, the history of milk distribution does not offer much reassurance that your concerns will ever end the practice. I think it's lessened somewhat because of consumer backlash, but they just go quiet about it. Now, I will say antibiotics, contrary to widespread belief, they're never fed to dairy cattle. But they do sometimes find their way into milk following a teat treatment. If you're treating for mastitis. There are rules that are supposed to be followed, but still, antibiotics sometimes get into the milk. So, cows can offer a sense of security. If the future seems uncertain to you. So one of the best ways to take charge of your own future and that of your family is to raise and grow your own food. That's a life-affirming choice of action, and one that may well offer better odds than going about armed to the teeth. Better to have the food. Now, inasmuch as this is not really a new idea, many schemes for self-sustaining food systems have been devised and revived from traditional methods. Like, for instance, one method involves growing algae in vats on the roof. Have you heard of that one? Another promotes earthworms and other insects as ideal basic food. So these are pretty extreme as far as sustainable food systems. There are systems for backyard fish ponds capable of growing many, many, many pounds of fish called tilapia. You've probably had tilapia. And you're adding manure and other waste to their water. Some people want to grow family-sized patches of soybeans or other vegetables and use that to provide food security. And all of these approaches offer for food security of a sort. But they have major problems, right? So algae tastes awful. Insects don't appeal to the Western palate. Tilapia, it's nourishing, but it's boring. And the vegetable diet, lots of vegetables, it's seriously boring, and it's extremely labor intensive. Therefore, I recommend the cow. And if the biggest animal you've ever known personally was a golden retriever, the cow may seem like a giant step into the unknown, and we can help with that. With a herd share, we will do all of the work, and you will still get the benefit of raising your own food. How about some amazing cow magic that most people don't know about? This is the biggest thing. The traditional family cow, it's like the centerpiece of a small farm economy, because the cow, living on a constantly renewing resource, grass, she is able to support herself, her calf, and still provide milk for you. And a cow does this on a free resource made of water and sunshine. So through her sovereign ability to convert grass, which otherwise has no value, to milk and meat, which does have value, the cow produces a wealth of nutrition. And that's it. The cow is the bomb. All right, let's talk about our recipe of the day. Crab and artichoke dip. So you're going to dip into this rich and creamy snack in a favorite bottle of wine, maybe. Use your slow cooker to make this recipe. It's a perfect fit for maybe a relaxed friends night with a bottle of wine. This recipe, as I said, is keto friendly if you leave off the crackers. Dip your bacon in it. Your prep time is about 20 minutes. You're going to cook it for 2 hours in that slow cooker. And this particular recipe makes about 3.5 cups. So you've got 3 cups of fresh baby spinach. You've got 1 can, a 14-ounce can of water-packed artichoke hearts, rinsed, drained, chopped. An 8-ounce package of cream cheese. You want that softened. 2 cups of shredded Peaceful Heart Gold. That is a Dutch Havarti style cheese. And then you're going to want a 6-ounce can of lump crab meat, drained, half a cup of sour cream, salt, pepper, and crackers or bacon if you go keto, right? So in the large saucepan, you're going to put about a ½ inch of water in there, bring that to a boil. Add the spinach, cover it, boil it just 3 to 5 minutes, and just wilt it, and then drain it. So you just got a little bit of water in there. It's really, you're just kind of steaming it, but it is boiled because you don't have the steamer in there. Anyway, and then a slow cooker, you can use a 1.5 quart slow cooker, just one of those little small slow cookers. Put the artichokes in there, the cheese, the crab meat, sour cream, salt, pepper, spinach, and you're just going to cover and cook that on low for 2 to 3 hours, or until your cheeses are melted. And serve with crackers or bacon or some other light keto kind of anything that's not bread. So that's it. So that's it for today. Got your farm updates. You got my thoughts on the family cow. And if you're interested in that herd share, get in touch with me via email. Melanie@peacefulheartfarm.com. Melanie@peacefulheartfarm.com. You can also contact me through the website, www.peacefulheartfarm.com. Go to the contact page. You can call us at the farm, 276-694-4369. 276-694-4369. 4369. We love to talk with you in person. Now give that recipe a try, and then go over to the recipe page on the website. Again, www.peacefulheartfarm.com. There's a link for recipes, and provide your feedback in the comments. Let others know how you did with it and any modifications that you made. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please go to Apple Podcasts and write a review. It's so important. It is so important for us. And don't forget to subscribe. Please share it with any friends or family who might be interested in this type of content. As always, I'm here to help you taste the traditional touch. Thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. And until next time, may God fill your life with grace and peace.